This is how desperate the people in northern Gaza are. This aid truck, filmed at the end of January, is one of the last to enter the region. And here's why: aid so often caught in the fighting. Now CNN can exclusively reveal that this truck carrying vital food headed for northern Gaza was hit on February 5th by an Israeli shell, despite an agreement to provide a safe route. CNN has seen the internal UN incident report and the correspondence between the UN and the Israeli military that show the route of this convoy was agreed upon in advance. And with starvation imminent for many across Gaza, experts say hitting a food truck is a potential war crime.
Looking at it with the available facts, it's really difficult to see how this could be a legal attack. And so at minimum, it would look like a very serious violation of international humanitarian law. Whether it's also criminal then depends on questions of intent.
The truck set off as part of a UN-marked convoy of 10 up Al-Rashid Road in the early hours. It reached an IDF holding point at 4:15 a.m. Stationary for over an hour, it was then hit at 5:35 a.m. Fortunately, no one on board was killed. The UN says they were hit by Israeli naval gunfire, and in satellite imagery taken just 2 hours after the attack, CNN identified ships that could only be Israeli naval boats. They've been deployed along the coast and are attacking Gaza from the west.
We share with the Israeli army the coordinates of the convoy, and only when the Israeli army gives us the okay, the green light, does UNRWA move. And the purpose of this deconfliction process is to make sure that aid convoys don't get hit.
It's not the first time this has happened. Many other aid trucks have been hit since the beginning of this conflict. The UN says northern Gaza is still home to a reported 300,000 civilians. UNRWA says half of its mission requests to the north have been denied since January. And since this latest attack, they have taken the painful decision to stop trying to deliver aid to the north at all. The IDF says it's helping to coordinate humanitarian relief in Gaza, but aid agencies say they face repeated delays while some staff are detained and even tortured. A UN mission in December described one aid worker who said he was stripped, beaten and blindfolded. Even when convoys are allowed through, some routes are simply not passable. This large crater blocking Al-Rashid Road just weeks before it was designated by the IDF as the main route permitted for humanitarian vehicles.
Such large percentages of the population are at such dire need, at such immediate risk of starvation. From that perspective, it's really hard for me to understand what kind of potential military rationale could be advanced to justify actions like this.
As the humanitarian crisis deepens, the question is whether Israel will be held accountable in a court of law for depriving so many in Gaza of aid. Katie Poglaze, CNN, London.